Grand Canyon and Primeval World. Stops at Frontierland, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. Last call. Board.
For those of you just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. As we continue our journey around the park, we ask you please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car. And those of you traveling with little ones, just place them away from the large train opening. Up ahead, our next stop, New Orleans Station. And just a friendly reminder, while the train is in motion, please remain seated on your bottom.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a Grand Circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the Primeval World and the Age of the Dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Critter Country.
As we steam into New Orleans Station, please stay seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car so have safe and comfortable. Once again, please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car so have safe and complete. So, New Orleans Station is your stop for Critter Country, Adventureland, and much, much more. Just a friendly reminder, folks, the station is a little wet, so watch where you're stepping. It might be a little slippery. Thank you. As we continue our journey around the park, we ask that you please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car. And those of you traveling with little ones, just place them away from the large train opening. Up ahead, our next stop, Toontown Station.
those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering Splash Mountain, rumored to be the location of the one and only laughing place. If you look real hard, you just might find it. It's where the critters are celebrating a zippity-doo-dah day. Speaking of critters, this place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a century and a half ago. This is my favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams and the stories that went with them were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable. Like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. Tunnel signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of year, the ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, a cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot
As we pull to the Toontown Station, those remain safe, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car check for a safe, full, and complete stop. Once again, folks, please remain safe, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car check for a safe, full, and complete stop. Toontown Station is your stop for more pets and attractions, and much, much more.
Continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is Toontown Depot, Mickey's Toontown.
Those of you still on the Disneyland Railroad, once again, folks, please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car. And those of you traveling with little ones, just place them away from the large train opening. Up ahead, we'll venturing through the future to Tomorrowland.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain. We're now steaming forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and, if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute.
As we pull into Tomorrowland Station, folks, please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car until it comes to a full and complete stop. Once again, folks, please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car until it comes to a full and complete stop. Tomorrowland Station is your stop for Space Mountain, Autopia, Finding Nemo, and much, much more. Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. As we continue our journey around the park, we ask you to please remain seated, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car. And those of you traveling with little ones, just place them away from the large train opening. Up ahead, we'll venturing through our Grand Canyon, our prime world. We ask at this time, folks, that you turn off any light up lightsabers, ears, or necklaces, and refrain from any flash or video lighting, please. Thank you. In about 10 minutes. I'm already going. I'm getting something ready.
To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. Watch your children and no flash photography.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado, mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
That was the Grand Canyon as we know it today. But it wasn't always this way. Now, let's travel back in time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the dinosaurs. We're now returning to our own time and to Main Street.
As we pull into Main Street Station, most moves are maintained, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car to complete full and complete stop. Once again, most moves are maintained, keeping those hands, arms, and feet inside the train car to complete full and complete stop. Main Street Station is your stop for any shops on Main Street, as well as our park entrance. Just remember to mind any books, those are those wheels on board. Yes, we want to keep them cold. There are no fares in the station, only stairs. Thank you.
Just a few minutes. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.